Thank you. And by the top of the coin, the first question is going to go to Rob O'Leary, but the same question will also be going to Bill Keaton. And for the 2 minutes. First question is, why are you running for Congress?
Well, I'm running for Congress because I believe this country is faced with a whole series of problems. And there's been a failure by the Republican Party and by our critics in the Congress to come to grips with them. And these problems are with respect to jobs and the need for economic growth. We're in the midst of what is an historic recession. Unemployment is approaching some 10%, and small businesses are struggling to keep themselves above water. People are losing their homes. Elderly are struggling with their ability to meet their retirement needs, and families are wondering about their ability to send their kids to school. We need to face up to these issues and come to grips with them. I'm running because I believe that we have a war in Afghanistan that we need to bring to an end. We need to bring those troops home now, and we need to take those dollars and reinvest them here in America and create jobs here at home, not be spending that money overseas. I'm running because we're faced with a whole series of environmental problems, global warming, and there's been a failure on the part of our Republican critics to come to grips with that as well. They deny the science and ridicule those who seek to come to grips with the problem. I'm running because I believe that we need to keep up the debate around health care reform. I think it's wonderful that we started that process, that we now have a situation where we're approaching some 90%, 97%, I believe, here in Massachusetts, of health care people covered under the current system. But we need to deal with the cost. We need to recognize that there are serious pressures within the healthcare system that need reform. And finally, I'm running because we need to change the climate in Washington. We need to begin to move away from the bitter partisanship, the finger pointing, and we need to come together. Something I've demonstrated an ability to do in Boston on behalf of the communities I represent, and something I want to do on behalf of you in Congress.
Again for each candidate. This, by the way, was from Mary Jane Newell, and the question is, why are you running for Congress? Mr. Keaton.
Thank you. You know, there was a moment in my life years ago when I had an important decision to make. And I went to my father, who was very ill at the time, and I asked him his advice. I said, I don't like the way the state senate is being run. I don't see progress being made. I don't see democracy. I see friends being rewarded, enemies being punished, and work not being done. And I said, should I risk my political career, the career that I worked so many years to build, to take on Bill Balzer and to fight to change the Senate? And my father said, do you think it's important? And I said, yes, it's important. And then he said, well, why wouldn't you do it? And looking at his perspective, with just months to live, I realized that the important things in life don't always come on your time frame, and when you have those opportunities, they're responsibilities that we all must have. So I'm running in this race because this is an important time. Our country will go one direction or the other in this election, not just here, but across the country. And if we're not successful, then the president will be paralyzed, and we'll have 2 more years of inaction, and we're going to have perhaps another 8 years of going back to failed policies. This is important. We have to change the fundamental direction of this country. We have to deal with the deficits by taking away troops that are there, that we're paying as taxpayers almost $1 trillion for countries that don't have enemies. And we have to change our direction on energy. Without a change of direction on energy, we can't compete economically. We'll continue to ruin the environment, and not only the country, but the globe will suffer. And we'll always have an obstacle in our national security policy where we're worried about access to oil. That's the fundamental direction and change we have to do, and it's important.